Welcome to The Anomaly, the contradistinct, uncensored, unmonetizable, and deemed unwatchable by the mainstream masses. We are the ones they cannot control and attempt to hold back, but together we form revolution. The Ramborgia. Welcome to John Rambo Presents the show, StayBallsy. Don't take any shit from anyone.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday, dear Ed.
Dear Ed.
Happy birthday to you.
Beautiful. I had no idea who we were singing happy birthday to. I was starting to join in. And
Hey, you're not that old, man. Should be able to remember.
It was this week.
Yeah, happy birthday, sir.
Thank you.
Dude.
So last Wednesday, I gave you a call, and I said, Ed, happy birthday to you, sir. And you replied by saying, I wasn't sure if you knew. And I reminded Ed that I'm his biggest fan, and I do know all of the important dates.
Wow.
Mr. Ed Trout.
Thank you. Thank you. I had a wonderful day. I had a great birthday because more people than I thought would remember did. And I got a lot of phone calls, emails, Facebooks, and I spent the day in conversation. And then my daughter came over, took me out to dinner. Then she took me home, and we played a few games of 8-ball on the rooftop patio. And then I walked her to her Jeep, and then walking up the hill, I saw Jesus.
Whoa.
This guy looked exactly like Jesus.
Ed, how old are you here seeing Jesus? Come on. Was there a white light behind you?
He's walking around. He's got the beard, the long hair, the muslin, the robes,
okay. The cloths?
Hack sack, whatever. No, hacky sack. That's a game.
Hacky sack? This might have just been a hippie, Ed, what you saw.
Sackcloth.
Yeah, sackcloth.
Anyway, his name turned out to be Kevin.
Or so he says.
A cup of coffee. You know,
that's nice.
What do you do when you run into Jesus? Buy him a cup of coffee.
Hedge your bets, right?
Yeah.
So he's wearing the Jesus cloths?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just walking
All right.
around the robe.
I like it, man. I like it. How was the conversation? Anything interesting? Because you want to come on the show maybe next week. We could have him on.
No, he just said, no, I'm just walking around. People take their picture with him. I took his picture. I put it on Facebook. I said this was the end of my day, running into Jesus outside of a Subway sandwich shop.
Subway again. You just can't escape from it.
That's where I bought him the coffee.
Well, you could run into worse people than that. So that's awesome, man.
Really? So I had a good birthday.
Yeah, I saw on your Facebook there you had like a lot of comments and well wishes.
I turned the official or the governmental version of old.
Okay.
At 65. That's when you're sort of officially in that demographic.
How do you feel about this? Have you thought about it?
Not much, except that it comes with all kinds of paperwork, to join that governmental demographic, to the Medicare papers and and all that official stuff. I hate that paperwork. I hate that kind of stuff.
Ugh, it's gross.
Well, they're trying to give you something to do maybe once you hit a certain age.
Yeah,
we got to keep these people busy.
Got to keep them busy.
A little wild. Who knows what they might get into out there? But you're a young man, Ed. As I told you, I feel you're just getting started out there. It's all leading up to this, man. Just getting the ball rolling here.
That's right. I'm not through yet.
Absolutely not.
Not by a long shot.
But happy birthday to you, man. I'm glad you had a nice day.
Thank you.
I'm sure I don't have to say this. I'll repeat it, but we all love you, and we're so happy to have you here with us and be friends with you and all that stuff, man.
At my age, I'm glad to be anywhere.
That explains why you keep coming on this program.
We're glad that out of anywhere you chose to be here.
George Burns used to say, I get up every morning and I look in the obituaries. If I don't see my name, I have a cigar and a martini.
I like it. So we're getting ready for today's show, and I'm like, you guys, because usually make sure everybody's got everything they need to do. Everybody use the bathroom, which is interesting because I never had a problem where I had to use the bathroom during the show, like in an emergency. That happened to you once before, John?
No, but I had to go so badly that, on a show that stretched out to 2 hours and 15 minutes, I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, I hate everything. Why?
All right,
please.
Well, there was only one time.
I had that problem once in the middle of a production on stage, Kafka's The Trial, and I was playing Joseph K., who's the central character. It's his nightmare, his dream. He's on stage all the time. There was no break. I didn't see a break coming. I had to go. I waited till there were two other characters on stage, and I said, where is the facility?
In the character's voice.
Yeah, and one of the other characters just, I'll find it. And I left. And they just kind of whispered back and it was Kafka. Anything could happen. So it was all right. Everybody in the audience thought this is just one of those Kafka-esque moments.
Well, Kafka uses the bathroom too, so it makes sense.
So
it would have been really bad if you came back and tossed a cockroach onto the stage, and then just said from off stage, I'm back.
Or toilet paper trailing from my shoe, But no, that didn't happen. I was gone as short as I could be.
All right, so we're all getting ready for the show here. And OJ is like, I got to grab some water. And then Ed pulls out this big Monster energy drink. Which I'm surprised to see here.
Yeah, well.
And you told me, what's the story behind this?
Well, my neurologist said that it was an acceptable supplement to the vitamin B. I take vitamin B6, B6, 9, and 12.
Okay.
And Monster has a lot of that in it. But he said, a maximum dosage of 2 small cans a day or a big one.
Never did I imagine that Monster would be suggested by a doctor. This is blowing my mind.
One of the 4 neurologists, I saw 4.
Is he like the rogue doctor, the controversial doctor?
I have a feeling,
Like in those commercials where 4 out of 5 dentists approve. He's the other guy.
You got it.
He's the one that doesn't approve of the Colgate. It's got a lot of B vitamins, Ed. You can talk to our buddy Rye, the Vegemite spread from Australia.
Oh.
That's got a lot of B vitamins.
Vegemite. I've heard of that.
I'm not sure if you would like the taste of it. But it might...
Give me a Vegemite sandwich.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That might do it for you. I don't know. I don't know if you like the taste, but we will try to hook you up with some, see what you think.
Okay.
All right. So there you go, friends. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the show. My name is John. I am joined by the OJ. That's right. And the great Mr. Ed Trotta is here with us today. Wonderful. Let's do it. Let's talk about next week for a second here, man. Next week is our big Black Friday show, which we've done every year since the beginning of the show. We go through all the different ads and stuff coming out. Ed, do you do any shopping on the Black Friday? Are you interested in that at all?
Oof. Well, I try to avoid Black Friday like the plague. It's nuts out there. I'm doing some wedding shopping today. I may pick up a Christmas gift or two.
For us, I hope.
Huh?
For us, I hope, right? So.
You, of course. Top of my list.
Well, yeah, we like to go through all the ads and make fun of them and feel good about ourselves by making fun of others. That's what we do every year.
It's the American way.
Exactly. So I'm looking forward to that, man. It's always one of my favorites that we do. So that's next week. All the big sales come in. But here at StayBallsy Incorporated / Amalgamated Enterprises, the great deals start early this year. That's right. Don't worry about Black Friday. It's Ballsy Wednesday today, okay? So if you go to our store, from now until the end of the year, we're offering free shipping, okay, on everything there. Not only is it free shipping, but free shipping to anywhere in the world, John. Did you know about this?
Wow.
Yes.
I'm going to put that out there.
Yeah, it's free shipping to anywhere in the world.
Okay.
There's not much left in there, actually. There's only, we have some StayBallsy shirts. There's one blue StayBallsy shirt left. There's 3 black shirts left. And we have some Blu-rays as well, so it's really not much left. And quite frankly, we probably won't be restocking anything anytime soon, so because it's costs a lot to get this stuff and store it and all that stuff. So it's your last chance to get the product, you know?
For some time.
For quite some time, I would say. Unless OJ wants to pony up a large investment.
I was rushed because this initial run is like a limited edition kind of collector's item.
Well, we've gone through so many of them, and thanks to everyone that's picked up the stuff over the years. And, you know, if you already got some stuff, but you want to pick up some more shirts for your grandmother or perhaps your dog, you have that opportunity now with free shipping. And they do accept PayPal now over at the Etsy shop.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, it's a new thing they just added in, too, so you can use PayPal. So you can find all the stuff. You go to etsy.com/shop/StayBallsy, or you can just go to StayBallsy.com/store and find all.
That's the easy way. StayBallsy.com store.
/store, yeah. So there you go, man. Right. Maybe OJ will buy some stuff. What do you think?
I'm cheap, dude. I don't buy anything.
You could buy your own shirts.
I got these matchbooks. I didn't pay for them.
So we have something to talk about, man. Last night, OJ and I had an excellent adventure.
Adventure.
A free adventure, which is always the best type, I think.
Yeah, I think the entire time we were there, I spent fewer than $4.
Yeah, we were looking for things to spend money on, and just wasn't necessary. It's awesome. So here's the thing, man. For average folks like us, we get up, we go to work. You know, a lot of times life is just a big kick in the balls. But if you keep at it, you know, if you do get out of bed every morning and keep fighting the good fight, sometimes things work in your favor, and they work out. And recently some things worked out, which is very nice, man. OJ, why don't you tell us the story, how this all went down? Just go for it.
Monday, November 16th, 2015. It is Hunger Awareness Week at my office, which means that, bear with me, John, I'm going through the whole story.
We don't need to go through the whole story. Let me rephrase it.
Too late. This will take too long if I don't. Anyway, which means basically that instead of getting lunch at the cafeteria with subsidized money, we donate that money to charity and have to go buy lunch ourselves. So instead of going down to lunch, I'm sitting at my desk looking at places where I can order food from. I order food and check my email. It is 11:37. I see an email that came in at 11:33. Marvel Unlimited says the first 50 people to reply to this email with their login and username will be able to go to the Jessica Jones premiere tomorrow at 7 p.m. in New York City in Times Square. I'm like, wow, what's my username? I try to log into the site, figure out my username, throw it into the email, and then it says, people have been accepted. We'll find out at 5 p.m. And you have to RSVP with 2 names. So, well, up to 2 names. So I put in my name. And without even talking to John, I put his name in. It's because I figured if anyone was going to go, it would be him. They didn't eventually ended up not even checking his ID at all. But so we go through the day. And I'm like, dude, if this works, if we're going to have to head to the city tomorrow and all this stuff, but we're not going to know till 5. And at least twice you asked me if I've heard anything.
Oh, yeah. So
I'm like,
hold on.
No, we're not going to know till 5.
Let's hit the brakes on this crazy train for a second. So, there's a new show coming out on Netflix it actually comes out on Friday, which is the 20th, Jessica Jones, Marvel's Jessica Jones. We talked about this before on the show. We're both very excited about it. We actually had a conversation on the phone on Sunday, John and I, just talking about how we were looking forward to the show. And then the next day I get these emails from John. He's like, we have a chance to go to this, right? And like John said, the first 50 people to reply to the email, they get to go. So John tells me that he replied maybe 3-4 minutes later. And I'm thinking there's no way that we're going to be able to get the tickets, man. It's not going to happen. Throughout the day, I kind of ask him, like, is there any update?
And I'm like, no, they said 5. No.
I don't know. We're both at work, and then 5 o'clock comes, and then there's no email. And we're both so disappointed. We just start, we're talking on a chat, so we're just typing and this sucks. And
I mean, I'm working very hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're like, these people are animals. They do this within 30 seconds. We're only 3 minutes and we can't get them. This is stupid. And we're all just dejected and just giving up. And then suddenly, like 15 minutes later, John gets the email saying that we got accepted.
So I don't know. Yeah. Now, I don't know if someone had RSVP'd before me and then they just bailed saying, sorry, can't make it, or if it looks like they just delayed the messages by like 10 minutes.
They make so much money, they're on their own time zone, I think. They just really want, but it just built this drama of like, you know, will we get it? And then the disappointment. And
I wonder if they did that on purpose.
And then suddenly, like, you're going.
Yeah, like they said at 5, and then they waited deliberately till after 5 so that people who were going would be like,
So I was very excited, and then I'm like, you know, I befriended this young boy 20 years ago named OJ, and I always wondered why, and now here was the reason why it all came to be.
A free ticket.
Yeah, that was it.
It all made sense. But John was nice enough to offer to me, and I was his date for the evening, which I was very happy to be along for the ride.
See, that's the thing that I didn't understand.
Did people on the red carpet assume you were a gay couple?
I hope so. That'd be a compliment.
Because I mean, it's.
They thought we were two homeless men, or
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, though. It said it's a red carpet premiere. Didn't leave a dress code or anything. Mm-hmm. So I spoke with John, and I said, yeah, I'm gonna go get my suit dry cleaned tonight. I'm gonna leave work a little early, get my suit done, pick it up in the morning. I'm like, what about you? He was like, yeah, I'm gonna wear my suit jacket, jeans, and a Marvel shirt. I'm like, okay, that'll be pretty funny, actually. And then I meet John at Grand Central.
All right, so we jumped on the train yesterday. I kind of had to rearrange some things. I basically didn't show up for some stuff I was supposed to do. Whatever, it doesn't matter. We met at Grand Central. We get there. John is just head to toe, just decked out at a suit, shoes. He's just looking dapper.
But he doesn't usually wear shoes?
Like fancy
I wear
shoes.
Sneakers.
They weren't shined before.
Yeah, and I had cufflinks too, but I forgot to point them out. I had Triforce cufflinks.
That's to the nines, yeah.
And a Space Invaders tie.
He was all ready to go.
No one pointed it out. I was like hoping for it.
And I just looked horrible, Ed. I just wore my usual stuff, and OJ just looked at me very so disappointed.
Well, I thought it'd be hilarious if you just had the suit jacket and normal clothes. That would have been hilarious.
And then I had like a bag with me because I brought some stuff on the train. And then John's like, "Is your suit in the bag?" And I was like, "No." And he looked so dejected. I was like, "Oh man, I let him down."
It's okay. I just thought it'd be really funny.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, man. If I lived like a couple blocks away, I'd wear like a whole Marvel. I'd wear like a suit with an Iron Man helmet, and I don't know something. But it's like it's a journey for me. Like I gotta I'm on the train for over an hour,
and you gotta drive like 15 minutes to the train.
I gotta walk to the train station. It's cold, so I'm just going for comfort here. I also kind of figured that we weren't really the people of importance at this event, and was that for sure, which we will find out here.
Yeah.
Do you have any footage from it? Did you take a camera?
Yes, I do. What I'll be doing is I'll be throwing some footage into this video for you guys. You'll be seeing some stuff here and there. Not too much, though. Nothing crazy.
Yeah. I will say one thing about the carpet, though.
Oh, yeah. So we head down to the place. It's 42nd Street. You basically get out of the station, walk straight, and show up there. The red carpet. Was it actually red?
No, it was purple.
Yeah, it wasn't even a red carpet.
But it was purple for a reason.
Why is this?
Oh, because of one of the characters.
Yeah, there's a guy in the show called the Purple Man, so they made it a purple carpet. It's a clever head.
Okay.
So, so we got there pretty early, and we couldn't get the tickets yet, so we were just hanging out, and they had the red carpet. It's like this big, it's basically like a movie theater that they rented out. So the lobby, we're down the lobby, they had the red carpet there, people setting up cameras and lighting and stuff like that. And we're just hanging out, waiting for
was it on 42nd or Broadway?
It was on 42nd Street. The Regal. It was like the Regal Stadium 13 Ewok Theater.
Okay, I remember.
Ewok.
Yeah, EWALK, not like the Star Wars things.
All right. Yeah, it was across from Madame Tussauds wax museum. People know that. But we're just hanging out, and OJ started talking to this young boy who apparently goes to all of these events, and
his mom. I think his mom asked me a question or something. If I could hold their spot, I don't know.
You guys just start talking. You start talking to these people. They always like figure out how to go to all these premieres, and which is cool because they were nice people. The kid's like maybe 10, maybe 9,
10, maybe 12. He might have actually been a little older, but might have had like his mom kept asking if he was okay, which made me wonder if he was ill at all.
Okay, well, I don't know.
So
if
he might have been older than he looked slightly.
It was weird. Like, I don't know if this kid should be watching some, like, this show specifically was a little intense. But, whatever. It's parents can make their own decisions what their child could see. I'm not going to step on their toes here.
The show was filmed. It was not live.
Yeah.
Right. It was filmed, and
So we're hanging out down there, and these people go to all these events, so they're like, they start calling out people that they see and who they know, and they're like, that's Jeff Loeb over there. And Jeff Loeb is this guy, he's a long-time comic writer. Wrote so many things that I've liked over the years, Batman, Long Halloween, Dark Victory, did the Hush series, did a whole bunch of different Marvel comics. So I was like, holy shit, Jeff Loeb is here, So I decided to go up to him and kind of introduce myself. Hello, sir. Big fan of what you've done out there. And he's like, thank you. And he's like, are you looking forward to the show today? I was like, yes. And then I decided to embarrass myself by saying, I made my own superhero show. I'd love for you to check it out sometime.
Did you have it with you? Did you have a couple?
I did, but like his face just goes from like I'm putting up with this person to just a sour face. I'm like, ugh. And he's like,
everyone wants to get into the act.
And he's like, I was like, I can't watch it. And I'm like, no, not right now. Like, you can just check it out later. And I gave him, I have a card that has like the address on it for the website. And I was like, I'll just take this. If you want to check it out, it's cool. If not, just throw it out. It's okay. Don't worry about it. And I just kind of walked away and kind of scampered away. But I did see him, like, later on, I did see him pull it out and like, look at it for a second. So I was like, all right, at least he looked at it. But it was it's a lot of embarrassing moments for me out there, Ed, with this thing. It's very tough.
Well, that's the sales part. That's the business part of show business.
I'm not even looking for anything. I'm just, I'd be like, hey, it'd be cool if you check this out. I like what stuff you've done. If you wanted to check that out, it'd be nice of you,
So how about the product? How about the film that you went to see?
Yeah, but one second with that, though.
Okay.
I was reading about this gentleman earlier today, just kind of like went on Wikipedia, and we found out that he's actually from Stanford, which is where we filmed the whole thing. So if I knew that, I would have been like, hey, we filmed this in Stanford. So I don't know. But whatever. It is what it is, man.
So
we're on this place in this lobby. And all of a sudden the security comes out, and you kind of realize that you're not really important at this event.
But I had a suit.
You're just kind of there, and they're kind of like, you're not really part of it, though. And the security's like, up against the wall. Everybody up against the wall. And then we were like against the wall, like closer to the wall. Everybody closer to the wall.
Yeah, he came over. He had to tell us like 4 times.
They wanted you like in the corner. They wanted all this like in the corner, like against the wall, like out of everyone's way. And I was in my head. I'm hearing him say like, up against the wall. Press your butt cheeks against the wall to make a suction cup system. Attach yourself to the wall. I don't know. It was just over and over with this.
And he also came over and said, there's not going to be any interaction with the stars.
Yeah.
As soon as you get your tickets, please head directly upstairs.
Yeah, he's like, you will not be talking to anyone, meeting anyone.
Are we having fun yet?
You will not. It's like, oh, cool, man. So we got our tickets, and they wanted us to go right to the theater, which is up this escalator. But at this point, it's maybe like, 6 o'clock or something?
Yeah, and the thing's not supposed to start till 7:30.
So we go up the stairs. I'm like, dude, I don't want to sit up in this theater for like 2 hours, man. So OJ and I went back down and tried to, because we wanted to see the red carpet and see people go through the red carpet, see what was going on, right? Mm-hmm. So we go back down. The guy sees us. He gets pissed. Told us to leave again. And then we figured out there's in this lobby, there's a Starbucks.
With a clear glass window inside the building, pointed directly at the red carpet.
Yeah, so we went into the Starbucks, and we were behind this glass, like looking at what was going on.
Yeah, I got a white hot chocolate so they wouldn't kick us out, and because I wanted a white hot chocolate.
But I just got like depressed about it. Like I'm looking through this glass, and there's like Joe Quesada, who's like the head of Marvel, like walking behind this glass, and then just like all the people, and we're like behind this glass, like segregated. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't really that fun. Let's just go to the theater.
Yeah. But it was pretty cool. So these are actually what the tickets look like.
Yeah, there you go.
Marvel, Jessica Jones.
Yup. And then
what's the other side have?
Yep, just screening. And you got assigned seats, too, so, you wouldn't have to worry about people stealing stuff.
Yeah, you go up there, they go through all your stuff, go through your bags, making sure
a
no
visual
cameras.
check. They don't, stick their hands in it, but they're just, looking at it.
It was cool that they gave us free popcorn, and you had a choice of soda or water.
Yeah, we both took
Nothing but
water,
the best,
but John,
yes.
for some reason, thought his water was carbonated.
It was purified water, which I don't even know what that means. What is that? What is that, Ed? Do you know?
Sparkling water.
Yeah, purified water? Is the water I drink not pure? What am I drinking? It's not pure water?
I guess they strained it from the tap, put it through a Brita filter, and then called it purified, and maybe carbonated it some. Was there a lemon in it?
No. It was out of a bottle.
They jacked up the price 200%.
Yeah, they put a lemon. It's $4.
So this theater is just gigantic. We kept saying how many seats are you think? We couldn't figure it out.
My guess was about if there were 100 people in the back 2 rows, which was us, I'm guessing
There's probably 1,000 in there.
1,600.
Okay. They had all of us normal type people up in the back. We were way up in the back.
Last 2 rows.
The last 2 rows of the theater. And we were in there from 6:15-ish. It was supposed to start at 7:30. Of course, the cast and stuff don't start coming until 8. So we're in there for maybe 2 hours, and they just kept playing this 30-second loop of music that's the intro to the show just over and over again.
Water
torture. Just didn't stop.
Audio version of water torture.
And we were in the theater, not allowed to leave or anything, so we were kind of just stuck in seats, just so there you go. Yeah, around 8 o'clock, the cast starts coming in. So we saw a guy, John, you could talk about it. We saw the dude who looks like David Tennant.
First of all, keep in mind, it's dark. It's a theater. So even with the lights on, it's still pretty dark. And someone walks in, and just from his silhouette, just the weird little thing on the top of his little hair he's got at the top, right here. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's David Tennant, who was the 10th Doctor in Doctor Who and has been in a bunch of British movies and some really good stuff.
Well, we didn't know it was him, but then we heard his voice come out, and we're like, oh.
Yeah, well, I knew once I saw his hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we saw him, and we saw Krysten Ritter, who's the lead in the show, Jessica Jones, come in. She was the prom queen of the whole shebang.
Yeah.
And that was cool, man. So it starts off with, there wasn't really much. There was a dude who did an intro and kind of said everyone's name in the cast and thanked a bunch of people. And then they just started. They actually played 2 episodes. It was kind of weird watching a Netflix show in a movie theater. I'm thinking, did they just plug it into the internet? The screen just goes right in to the net or something. I don't know. It was weird. And I assume a lot of the cast never saw this before either, right?
Yeah, otherwise they wouldn't have bothered to show up with us plebs, right?
Is that typical, Ed? The cast doesn't see the show before the premiere? So
was it a Marvel production or a Netflix production?
It's both.
It's Netflix doing a Marvel sanctioned. Okay.
It's Marvel Studios, and it's only on Netflix is the way to watch it.
So Marvel made it, but it's exclusive that Netflix is the only way to watch it.
I see.
They played 2 episodes. They said we're the first people in the world to see
episode 2.
Yeah. There was a dude that pulled out a phone or some sort of recording device, and we saw security come over and just get in his face.
Yeah.
The guy was a complete idiot. He was on the aisle too. It was just it was bad.
Yeah, and there's some people behind us shouting, which they were driving me nuts. I'm like, you are the worst stereotype of New York right now. It's one thing to shout at a movie. People do that, whatever. But you're shouting at a film while the actors and the people who made it are there, hearing you shout. I mean, that's incredibly disrespectful.
Well, there's a lot of that, here I am, it's all about me now, type of, But they played the 2 episodes, and I'll say, after watching it, we won't get into any kind of details about it. But,
spoilers.
You guys know
Did it make you sign a disclaimer? No?
No, we could talk about it.
Hype train.
I could make things up that didn't really happen.
Maybe they wanted you to talk about it.
Yeah, probably. Maybe not me, though. I don't know. Maybe other people. But they made the Daredevil show before this one, and you guys know it's one of my favorite things that exist out there. And I'd say comparing this show to that one, these 2 episodes are, I would say, better than the first 2 Daredevils episodes.
I think so. It gets you right from the beginning, but it also shows you what sort of show it's going to be.
It's insane.
It's intense. It doesn't pull any punches. and the sorts of problems that people in these situations would have, the characters have, and it doesn't try and gloss it over.
Yeah, it's a very adult show.
Yeah. So that younger child.
A lot of sex in the show.
Yeah.
The most sexual Marvel has ever done.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Does Netflix have ratings? Have a rating system?
Yeah, I think it probably says. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, it would have been R. You don't actually see any. Oh, that's another funny thing. Like, so the cast is there, and one of the in the beginning of the episode, one of the characters is in their underwear.
Yeah.
And they're in the room.
And you stared at her eyes.
So you're just like...
And you pointed at the screen at her. That's you.
Just like, that person right there, that's what they look like in their underwear. Right there on a 50-foot screen, that's it.
It is interesting to watch the thing with...
Weird
with the people that are there when you're watching. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
All right, so we saw it. We liked it a lot. It's over now. There wasn't really much of an ending. It was just kind of like, all right, let's go. They didn't even turn the lights on. People were just trying to walk in there.
Get out! No one even said get out. They just stopped.
And to her credit, Krysten Ritter, she just exited like everyone else does. I don't know what I expect. I'm thinking security comes and they lift her to the ceiling or something.
Maybe Tennant teleported out somehow.
Well, she just starts walking like when you leave the movie theater towards the steps and that slow plodding walking in a group thing. So I tried to time it so that I would come out of the down the aisle when she was coming out of her aisle. And I don't know what I was going to say. It sounds kind of weird now I'm repeating that. I'm just going after her. I don't know what I was going to be doing.
Your butt looked good on the first
No, I was going to say that. But right before I was about to get to her, two guys just jumped out. The two guys came out of their aisle, right in front of me. I didn't even say anything to her, man. Just say, good job or something. Nothing. And they blocked me. So then we're leaving. And in the lobby, right outside the theater itself, she was there taking pictures with, I believe it was the cast and people that worked on the thing. And since OJ's got his nice suit on.
Well, here's the thing. There was this little kid. This kid was there.
Well, he was in a suit, so I think he was probably a kid. He was a son of one of the producers or something, probably.
I don't know. I'm he stops for a photo. I'm like, all right, if this kid can get a photo, sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking he was someone's kid.
Oops.
But I was like, OJ, get in there. So OJ slips in. And here we go. We got the photo show. Here's OJ with Jessica Jones herself.
Krysten Ritter. There's the close-up. And here's the wide shot. And you guys are a little bit of a wrist... Did you guys plan this? A wrist touch? What is this? No. We never had skin-to-skin contact, though. Just my suit.
Suit to skin?
Yep.
What did you think about her?
It does look like a prom shot, doesn't it?
It does.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
This is your new... People say, did you go to the prom, OJ? So yeah, this is my photo. Okay.
Sweet.
Oh, she was nice. She was very tall. But she was real nice to everybody.
The show.
You could tell she was really happy about the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. In that shot, I can't tell if she's confused or just enjoying the day.
She's a little confused. Like we said, you weren't really supposed to be doing that.
Well, it happened.
It happened anyway. So
I asked her, "Hey, Miss," I said, "Miss, may I please get a photo?" And she said, "Yeah, sure."
What did she say? No.
Then I said, "Congratulations, you've got a real hit on your hands. Thank you," and disappeared.
She can't say no because then people go on Twitter and they're like, "Krysten Ritter was a jerk to me. I wanted a photo, and she wouldn't do it." So there you go, man. And that was it. That was a great time. And I looked. That picture makes me laugh a lot. I don't know why. I just love filming OJ and putting him in different situations. OJ is like my action figure. That's what it is.
That's a little disturbing.
And to have OJ in this situation, I don't know.
It could be worse. You could be his bobblehead.
So there you go, man. I told OJ not to worry about birthdays or Christmas for me because that took care of all that for me for the next 5 years. It was a great time. It was cool of Marvel to let people in for free like that. The Jessica Jones show is awesome. Looking forward to watching the rest of it on over the weeks here. And
weekend.
Well, it's gonna take me a while. It's 13 episodes or something.
Hey, only 11 now.
That's true.
11 to go.
Well, there you go, man. It was a great time, John. What do you have to say about in closing here for this?
It was a really great show, and I'm Actually, honestly, I think I might try and organize a viewing party with some of my friends this weekend.
Right on. You gonna watch those again?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Intense.
They were good. I mean, worst case scenario, I'll just play Puzzle and Dragons on my phone until it's over, but I did happily enjoy watching it again.
Ed, have you been to many premieres or things like this?
I'm on some list at Universal Studios lot, and so I'm not sure why, but I every once in a while they send me an invite to something that's about to be released.
Okay.
Like I saw Flight there, the Denzel Washington movie. I saw the Superman, the last Superman before it was released.
Oh, wow.
So I guess those are the premieres I get to. And, yeah, those stars show up. But I'm usually there early enough with whoever I brought. And no one knows who you are. So when I stand up and I turn to the booth and I say, okay, Jack, you can roll it now. Oh, who's that gets
He's important. He's the head of the studio.
Yeah, who gets to cue the cameraman when we're only half full. Anyway, those are the premieres that I get to. Or, if friends are in shows, well, those are stage premieres. That's different. No big red carpet events.
Yeah.
The Ovation Awards, I was nominated one year for that, so that was sort of the Ovations are like the West Coast Tonys.
Okay.
And I was nominated for Best Stage Adaptation for Animal Farm.
Oh, that's awesome.
I didn't win. It was The Imaginary Invalid that won that year, but they treat all the candidates, pretty nicely. So awards, they're nice. They're nice. They're fun,
Yeah,
Enjoy them.
It's not what it's all about, though, right?
Your success has to be in your heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're at a podium.
Some of us are getting awards. Some of us were behind the glass looking on.
Yeah. I tried to get an award today.
Today?
We had a bake-off at work.
Oh, yeah. What was this about?
Yeah. I didn't get there.
It was a bake-off at work. It was a competition?
Yeah.
So what happened? What do you mean? What did you make?
I didn't get first, second, or third, so...
What did you make?
Chocolate chip cookies and frosting.
What won?
The winners were mint chocolate fudge and peanut butter fudge was one person. Another person made tarts, and I forgot what the third person made, but the guy who made tarts wins every year because he used to be a professional chef.
You should be allowed in.
He wins every year. Like, he brought a blowtorch last year.
No pros allowed.
Right? He brought a blowtorch last year and made creme brulee or something.
Oh, he's a ringer.
Sabotage his dish.
Come on, we're a software company, dang it. We're nerds, not chefs.
Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor.
I'd be happier with a doctor. I could beat him, probably, at baking. Maybe.
Yeah. So, there you go, man.
Well, congratulations on the, on winning. And I'm sure they didn't tease you with that 5 o'clock thing. I think they probably just started the calls at 5 and it took a while.
I don't know what happened. Well, they sent me an email, so I guess whatever robot they had doing that was just slow.
Yeah. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, have a good time. I feel a little inspired now. I have to try to, I don't want to be behind the glass, Ed.
No, you want to be on the outside of the glass with people coming in to see Schnozman and Hole Punch.
I want these other people behind the glass where I could laugh at them.
Mm-hmm.
I want that kid. Yes? I want that kid and his mom to come by and just be like,
"Oh, we should have given them the disc."
Oh,
that was pretty stupid. We always think we always like after the fact. We should have done this and that.
Yeah, and then I bet you they could have given it to people.
They probably would have
enjoyed it. Since they know
it.
everyone.
All right, well, we screwed that up.
Yeah,
that was a mistake. Anyway,
we still had fun.
All right, so let's change gears completely here, man. We got to address the situation.
Address.
It's an awful situation in France last week. So we want to give our thoughts and prayers to anyone affected by that. I don't know if any of you guys out there in France listened. I don't think I've ever encountered someone that checked out the show from France. I don't know, maybe if you are, let me know. I'd love to hear about. I'd love to talk to you. But just an awful situation, man. What if you guys have anything to say personally that you would like to express?
Well, it put me through the ringer. I was watching regularly scheduled programming. I don't remember what it was. It's just the TV on in the background kind of thing. And then I heard special report live, breaking news happening now, and it was right after the explosion. The first that you could hear went off in the concert hall. And I just sat riveted for the next few hours as things were unfolding. And it felt a lot like when I remember watching the tower burn in 9/11.
Absolutely, yes.
Just watching the tower burn and then watching the second plane hit and thinking, oh, boy, I'm keeping Spencer home from school today, that's for sure. And I was recording it, and I titled it World War III. I thought,
wow,
this is... it put me through a lot of conflicting emotions.
Absolutely.
And the way it was reported, really intended to I wanted to take the I wanted to put the back in unlimited warfare. Limited warfare, unlimited warfare. It made me angry. It made me want to. And then I thought, wait a minute, what's going on, Ed? You're not a hawk. You're not where is this instinct for revenge, this retaliation? Immediately, that's what I felt. I had to think about it. I had to calm down. I was surprised with the body count, frankly, that with 6 coordinated attacks and all that heavy weaponry, there were explosions and shotguns and automatic weaponry, that the death toll at the point I left it was at 127.
Yeah.
With 350 wounded.
Which is awful enough.
Which is awful enough. But, what is acceptable, what is it called? Acceptable loss. When we watched movies like Dr. Strangelove or Failsafe, they talked about millions because they were post-atomic bomb wars, which meant total destruction. This is these terrorist cells, they call the people that are kind of planted in other countries, that it's like a decay.
And it's people at concerts and people just, young normal stuff, innocent people. Horrible.
And the whole concept of suicide bombing, suicide soldiers, it's hard to imagine combat with someone with that kind of mindset, I mean, we did with the Japanese when we had kamikaze pilots who, after they dropped their bomb and unloaded their bullets, would fly their planes right into an aircraft carrier. And the Japanese were only promised to be national heroes. The Muslim faith, if you die in the service of Allah, then you're promised nirvana with countless virgins to attend you. So they're not just willing to die; they're almost anxious.
I like to see, it's good to see in the aftermath of these things, people come together. See a lot of support for France and Paris, and it's always wonderful to see a lot of flags around. I think I saw a couple tonight actually in the city, which is cool. That's what we got to do. We'll kind of come together and help each other out.
That is the way to combat terrorism, is to come together to show them that you didn't divide us, you didn't put us in fear, you didn't win.
Right.
And so I know that my initial reaction was wrong.
Right. One thing I would like to see out there, if you guys remember back during the early days of the Iraq War, and France did not support the war, there was a lot of backlash over here towards them. Silly stuff, man. I think there was calls for boycotting French products.
Freedom fries.
Yeah, there we go. So it extends to silliness like we have French fries.
They're not even French. They're Belgian.
They're going to be called freedom fries now. And something I've seen recently, which is the most ridiculous thing I've seen, French dip sandwich, John?
Yeah.
You know what that is?
Yeah.
It was like a roast beef type sandwich. And
I think it's lamb usually.
Okay, and there's a dip sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Au jus
sauce. I saw at a restaurant maybe a year ago. Freedom dip sandwich.
That doesn't sound appetizing.
Freedom dip. A freedom dip.
Means we can put anything we want in the dip because we're free.
Is that when you go swimming naked? Freedom dip? I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. Freedom dipping.
I don't know. So I was like, I'm not getting that. But I do like a French dip sometimes. But anyway, so maybe this is the time we can kind of get rid of that silliness. And, not be afraid to use the word French for food. It's okay now.
Considering there's really amazing food from France.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's something I would like to see go down.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I want to say is that now is not the time to start changing legislation or doing anything. Now is when people are very emotional and very upset, and upset for good reason. But now is the time to, take a look and analyze everything that's happened that's bad. And after the pain isn't as fresh, that's when we should see if there's something we need to change. Not immediately after. You know what I mean?
Ed, what is the quote Lincoln has about that you put into your play? Actually,
because the premise of my Lincoln play is that he's been given a dispensation from belonging to the ages. He, because it starts with him in study of himself in the memorial, his own memorial. So he has to be aware of the fact that he's dead and that times have changed, and he's aware of things like, minor things like a ballpoint pen and a Post-it. My congratulations on these wonderful inventions, little things like that. But sort of late in the play, he realizes he has very little time left, and he has to address a couple of important issues, and says, I have been asked of late for my assessment of the current state of the Union, especially as regards to its concerns for national security. I beg you not to press for enlightenment from me on this subject. I don't feel qualified. These are such different times than those in which I lived and served. Nuclear, chemical, biological times. Times fraught with the likes of terrorism. Terrorism. What is that? It's not the name of a country with borders that can be penetrated. It's not the name of an individual who can be apprehended and brought to justice. It's a way, a means, an idea, devoid of conscience, destruction as its goal. How does one combat an idea? Save perhaps with another idea. Oh, I suggest that this be compassion, freedom, liberty itself, principles for which our flag has always been the symbol, and principles which will prevail, because it is within the very nature of man that freedom not be considered a luxury. No, it's a necessity. Perhaps our times are not so different after all. That's what he says about terrorism.
The great Ed Trotter, ladies and gentlemen, right there.
But he follows that with a joke. He has to, that's kind of heavy. You want to hear the quick joke?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Because he has to get out of that. Well, a thought just now about the military has put me in mind of a story, which I attribute to Ethan Allen, Colonel Ethan Allen of the American Revolution. Well, it seems Mr. Allen paid a visit to England in the years following that war and found that his hosts took great pleasure in ridiculing Americans. To further irritate their guests, they'd hung a picture of George Washington in the toilet, the back house, as we used to call it. Well, Allen returned to the United States and reported that the English had found a most appropriate place for that portrait, because, he added, nothing will make an Englishman shit so quick as the sight of General Washington.
You bring him down, you bring him up, Ed. You play him like a fiddle, man.
His little anecdote to get out of, talking about terrorism. And then he finally has to broach the subject of the Civil War, which he's not anxious to talk about either.
So when you wrote that terrorism spot there, did that take a long time, or that just kind of come out of you?
Oh, it was trying to imagine what he would say, because this is a place where I couldn't quote Lincoln. Right. Terrorism didn't exist in his day. Uh-huh. So what would he think is what, I had to consider.
Have you ever talked to has anyone ever approached you, like a Lincoln historian or something, and agreed with your assessment or disagreed with it?
Historians and scholars have a field day with me. They like to ask, like details about in the second inauguration speech. And that's not what I'm about with my Lincoln. Or details and historical facts. I'm not a Lincoln scholar or historian.
So
I'm an actor.
They start acting like you are Lincoln, and they want to know what you think about all these kinds of things.
Right. I remember one guy on a cruise ship. He asked Mr. Lincoln, "What do you think is the most significant invention of the last century or since your demise?" And I thought, well, the computer certainly has changed things, and medical advances, and he said, "I think it's refrigeration."
No, sir.
He said,
off with his head.
Because of all the things that's made possible.
It's true, yeah.
And I thought, well, that's a very interesting and that's a very astute observation. So,
next
question. Next question.
You'd probably just be like, well, I haven't experienced everything that you have to offer yet.
Yeah.
I still have to try this television you speak of and some other trinkets.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I heard there's something called video games.
Games, I don't know. Well, I mean, Lincoln also makes a point in my play about war being so different now since your generation has come to terms with a concept known as limited warfare. You've had to, since splitting the atom, or risk there not being a victor, let alone spoils of war. Well, General George McClellan was my experience with limited warfare. McClellan was his first general of the Union Army, and he had the slows, as I used to put it. Claimed to be outnumbered when he wasn't. Sent dispatches to the war room claiming he'd claimed territory. He'd captured territory. Well, then all he's defeated is the purpose of the war. But he's aware of things like splitting the atom and unlimited warfare is something. Limited warfare is something that's a foreign, to him also, because in his day, each side did the best they could to eliminate the other.
Yeah.
But now we have to have rules of engagement.
It's supposed to be anyway. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be.
All right. Things going on elsewhere in the galaxy. A couple months ago, you and I on the show, we were talking about experience you had, maybe some extraterrestrials, something you can't explain, something that occurred to you.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff, man. Interesting stuff. So I found this article. This is maybe from last month. I've been holding on to this one. We haven't really had a chance to get to it, but they may have found something up there, Ed.
Yeah. They may have.
Yeah, they may have. We don't know.
But beyond the water on Mars, you mean?
Beyond, like way, way out there. So it says researchers have revealed a bizarre star that they say could be surrounded by a huge alien megastructure known as a Dyson Sphere.
This rings a bell, yeah.
Dyson Spheres are ridiculous.
KIC 8462852 is the name of this planet. It sounds like a phone number. Maybe we can, I don't know. We can call them.
8675309.
It's located 1,480 light years away from Earth.
Well, better get started now.
It was monitored by the Kepler Space Telescope for more than 4 years, beginning in 2009. Now researchers say they cannot explain strange fluctuations in the light it emits, leading some to claim it could have a huge alien megastructure in front of it.
Oh.
There's a quote here.
Yeah.
It says, "We've never seen anything like this star," says Tabitha Boyajian, a postdoc at Yale. The unusual star's light pattern is consistent with a swarm of megastructures, perhaps stellar light collectors, technology designed to catch energy from the star, known as Dyson Spheres. First proposed by a theoretical physicist, Freeman Dyson, in 1960, it is a swarm of satellites that surrounds a star. Is that what you're going to say, John?
Yeah, Dyson Sphere is basically like if you completely surround a star with structures or like solar collectors or something, like you'll it's like picture. Okay, so some folks might know the game Halo, which is basically it's a single ring all the way around a center sort of star or light source or whatever. A Dyson Sphere, take that ring and rotate it all the way around so the stars are completely encased, and then inside that sphere, you can absorb every single piece of light, every bit of light, all the energy coming out of the sphere, of the sun, all the energy coming out of the sun. Nothing is wasted, which means you're getting a ton of energy right there.
Did you learn this at space camp, John?
Really?
No. I didn't learn it at Space Academy.
John went to space camp. We talked about that.
Space Academy.
Space Academy. So
thank you.
it says they could be an enclosed shell or spacecraft spread out to gather the energy. That's what John said. Known as a Dyson swarm. It's something different, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. If it's completely encased, it's a sphere. Because that's what spheres are.
Right
Carl Sagan said, wouldn't it be more amazing to think that there isn't life elsewhere in the universe?
Right.
To think that we are all alone than to think that there is some other intelligent form of life?
These guys are looking, man. They want to be the first one to say, I found it. It's definitely going on. So it says Wright is now working with the SETI Institute in Berkeley to develop a proposal to point a large radio telescope, either the Green Bank Telescope in West Virginia or the Parkes Observatory scope in Australia, at the star and listen for a hum of alien technology.
How are you?
But hear like some Beatles song or something.
Yeah, like a Beatles song.
Something they have really great taste in music, and they exist.
I think I hear Eleanor Rigby. Yeah.
Here comes the sun. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
There's that joke about us sending a capsule out with a disk that showed using the distance between atoms as a unit of measure what man was accomplishing. It had a Chuck Berry record. It had a diagram of cultural history that was in a uniform language, and 34 light years later, they got a reply: send more Chuck Berry.
Of course. Of course.
That's all we find interesting.
Yeah. Hey, man, it's good, fun stuff.
Nothing wrong with Chuck Berry.
So, John, what do you think? The Dyson Sphere.
That would be pretty cool. I mean, whoever did it could probably destroy us all, but I hope they don't.
That's what people always say. Well, why don't they come see us? Maybe they just don't care enough.
Have you met us, John? I can see why.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, seriously, dude, we are the guy who shows up at your party, leaves his trash all over the place, steals all your food, all your drinks.
And then says the party should have been better.
Yeah. Why doesn't anybody come see me? Why didn't anybody invite me? Bleh.
So there you go. I'll see what happens with that. I don't know. I think we should try to figure it out. We should try to listen to space and see if we hear anything.
Send Chuck Berry.
Forget this podcasting stuff, man. It's time to, do some science.
Some people say that if we are broadcasting stuff, we're just basically going into like a jungle saying, hello, hello. And if I don't know how experienced y'all are with jungles, but something going to eat you. I don't know.
John seems very afraid of the alien life forms.
Like, what are we going to do?
They're
Like,
going to take you away.
What are we just going to do? Like, nuke anyone who comes after us? Send the nukes into space. Do it. A friend of mine actually was telling me about this really awesome book series where these jerk-faced aliens come to Earth and are basically like, we're going to take over and take all your resources. Okay, bye. Until one guy finds out what the aliens find most valuable, and nobody knows but him. It's maple syrup. They just can't get enough of the stuff. So the dude starts making deals with the aliens, like selling them maple syrup until he gets rich and then buys the planet back from them. And it's pretty cool. And uses the money to hide weapons inside asteroids so they can blast them out of the sky. It's pretty cool. Maple syrup. I knew it was good, but dang.
If aliens came to Earth, how much do you think the offers would be from the pornography companies to feature an alien? Think about it. You don't have to answer now. Just think about it.
Watch alien sex?
Yeah. Don't answer that now. We'll think about that one, okay?
Yeah, I'll mull on that.
All right. So here's a couple articles you want to throw at Ed. Here's another one that came out recently. You, of course, were on the show MacGyver. many times. It's a huge, twice. It's a huge show for you.
Yeah.
That's many. More than once.
Okay.
Come on, Ed. There's talk now of bringing back MacGyver. Rebooting the show. Well, actually, it's not really a reboot. It's described as a reimagining of the television series following a 20-something-year-old MacGyver as he gets recruited into a clandestine organization where he uses his knack for solving problems in unconventional ways to help prevent disasters from happening. So it'd be kind of like a prequel, a young MacGyver.
Sure, I think that'd be cool. When he was still playing hockey in high school or college or something.
Yeah.
Kid Guyver.
Tween Guyver.
Well, I know how popular that show is. I still get residuals from.
Wow,
it's got to be like 20 years ago now.
Dang.
Yeah. A little more than that, I think.
I mean, they're small residuals. It's like a couple of bucks, $2, $3.
Hey.
But, over the lifetime of it, it's amounted to something. But that was one of the most fun shows, and that was a Paramount. Yeah, that was a Paramount production.
Okay.
So was Star Trek Voyager. Yeah, that's my favorite studio lot. Maybe that's why I get those invites to see shows there, because I've worked there a couple of times. But they're still they're not owned by Sony or some other bigger,
that's good.
complex. And when you fly, it's first class. When they fly you to Vancouver or something, it's nice. You sit across the aisle from Vic Tayback, and Linda Blair is there, and it's nice. What were we told? What brought Paramount up?
I was talking about MacGyver returning.
MacGyver returning.
It seems to be a trend right now. There's like a lot of stuff.
Still a very popular show. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Netflix and stuff like that, including your episodes if people want to check them out. It seems to be a trend now. A lot of things from the past kind of coming back in some form. You got the X-Files returning.
Jenny's Chance.
Yeah.
And Blind Faith.
Yes.
Those were my 2 episodes.
Yeah, I've seen them. So a lot of shows coming back for the past. So I got a question for you guys. A show from the past that you'd like to see return. Could be anything. You personally like to see brought back in some way.
I'd like to see the Honeymooners come back. I'd like to see Abbott and Costello come back. But
can't
not
do
without,
it, man.
But not without Abbott and Costello.
Yeah, right. You can't do those.
You can't do I Love Lucy without Lucille Ball.
The Honeymooners, I think they made a movie or something, maybe 10 years ago, which didn't really do too well.
Didn't John Goodman play Jackie Gleason?
I don't know. I don't know who was in it.
Played Fred Flintstone.
You know what?
He played Fred Flintstone. That's right.
I just made a great point. Like some of these shows, you got to leave them alone because they're so defined by the people that were in them.
Yeah.
It's so classic that you would almost be trampling on the
art,
right? The Three Stooges, they tried to make a movie too, and that wasn't very good.
Joan of Arcadia was a wonderful show that didn't get its following soon enough to, settle in there. And that had a great cast. But I think that the concept behind Joan of Arcadia was even stronger. That isn't what if God were one of us, just a slob like one of us. You remember that song?
I remember the song, yeah.
I don't know if you remember the show, but God would show up in the form of a cleaning lady at the high school or a skateboarder in the park. And he'd just say, "Oh, Joan, it's me." And he'd give her some tip about what she was supposed to do that day. But it was I liked that show.
Stay away from fires, Joan.
Yeah.
Great that could come back. Max Headroom was ahead of its time.
Yeah. Oh, man. When I was a kid, I always wanted to watch more of that show, but I never got to see enough of it.
Max Headroom. Yeah.
He could actually come back like the same. It could be because he's like a video thing, so they could just bring it right back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and judging by my connection, I don't even have to pretend doing anything. I'm going to skip out enough that I can talk like him.
He's been lost in the internet all this time. Now he's just emerged. Something, I don't know.
I don't know what I want.
Took place, I think at the beginning it said 20 minutes into the future. 20 minutes from now.
Okay,
This is what life is going to be like.
That's a big 20 minutes, man.
It's a big 20 minutes because there were computers trashed into sidewalks. How fast technology was evolving.
Yeah.
He was on some talk shows. I found clips. He was on like Letterman and stuff. They put the TV down, and he would like talk to the hosts of the late night shows.
Wow.
Yeah. Ed was on that show as well, right? Max Headroom. Max Headroom, you did some stuff for on that show.
I did an episode of Max Headroom. Yeah. That really dates me.
It's classic stuff, man.
Time, yeah.
Also, it doesn't really, like I'm saying, everything's coming back now. Like, it all comes around again, so.
I don't know. Like, I can think of shows I'd love to see again, but.
Maybe keep it in the past is your thought.
But yeah, like, I loved Quantum Leap. I don't want them to redo Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap.
Yeah, they tried to redo Knight Rider and it flopped horribly.
Knight Rider.
Yeah. I wrote an episode of Quantum Leap called Truman's Trauma.
Really?
That didn't get produced, though.
Did they steal your idea, though?
No, they didn't steal
it.
It. No. They went off the air before it got to them. But it was an assignment. I got an assignment to write a Quantum Leap episode because I had written a Northern Exposure episode.
Okay, I remember that show, too, yeah.
William Morris liked, and they wanted to know how they assigned me a Quantum Leap, and I said, but I don't watch Quantum Leap. I'm not a fan of the show. They said, well, that's good because you won't necessarily be a fan of the show you find work on. And we also want to see how long it takes you to write an hour of television. Okay. You could have taken 2 years to write this Northern Exposure that we like. So 10 days later, I had a Quantum Leap episode on their desk.
Did you have to watch the show first, or you just read the description?
Yeah, I started watching the show, and it's just 2 people that you have to write for.
Yeah, they always have a different situation each show, and they have to solve the problem. Yeah, it was good.
So mine was about a mechanic named Truman, and he was going to go crazy on Halloween, and if Sam didn't fix his trauma, he was going to get stuck in this one character forever. You know how Sam would leap in and out of people.
Yeah.
And if he didn't find out why he was going to have a nervous breakdown, he was going to get stuck in Truman, the mechanic. But he figured it out.
Oh, that's good.
Did they pay you for your work even though they didn't use it?
No.
No? Oh.
It ends up being what's called a spec script.
Okay.
Yeah.
It goes on the shelf.
It was for the agency, just to see how long it would take me to write an hour.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Interesting to pick that show.
Yeah.
All right on.
Yeah.
There's another story here we got. Playboy magazine.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard of this?
I think I heard what you're going to say.
Yeah. No more nude women.
No more nudes, Ed. They've had nudity since 1953. And starting March of 2016, no more nude. And it's interesting because the reason that they're doing this, here's a quote from the company's chief executive, Scott Flanders. He says that content will be made SFW, which means safe for work, in order to be allowed on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So they're basically not getting any attention for their magazine anymore.
I see.
Because they cannot be shown on all these different platforms. So
that old excuse that we used to use, I get Playboy for the articles.
Yeah.
Now that's the case.
Now you better be doing it.
They're getting rid of the naked women so that they can get popularity on the internet, which people use to look at naked women anyway.
Right.
But here's the thing. Playboy is saying that they're getting rid of naked women so they'll be more popular so that people can use them on social media sites. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not like Playboy existed before social media sites. Oh, wait. No. 1950. It's been around. It survived then.
They basically
without
can't,
social media.
They're saying they can't survive, or I don't know, who knows, but it's pretty much...
It's not, well, I mean, it's tough. If they're focusing on having nude women, then they're in trouble because the internet is full of nude women. Not that I know, there's nude women all over the internet.
I guess basically they have 2 choices. Become a cleaner thing that can be on different sites, or just go the opposite direction and become hardcore porn. So they decided to go the one way.
Playboy has always been more conservative than people attribute
Yeah, it's mostly like it's all paintings. It's like paintbrushed and it's really not even. It's like cartoons.
Well, Hugh Hefner promoted this idea of a very liberal society, but I went to the Playboy Mansion in Chicago.
Oh my God! Tell us about this.
And I was with Equus, and we were invited. I had come up with an idea for a pictorial of
horses.
You've
done everything, man.
Horses and bunnies on the bowling lanes. Horses, and because I was in Equus, and we had these horse outfits, and I thought this would promote the show to have horses and bunnies competing with each other on bowling lanes. There was this really deco, cool bowling alley.
Okay, hold on. What year was this?
76.
Oh, it must have been crazy. All right, so when you say horses and bunnies,
the idea, huh?
When you say horses and bunnies, who's the horses or men? I guess.
Yeah, there was one actor per horse, and we wore these heads that were so they were wicker wrapped with mylar, and they were about this big. They were huge, and we wore platform shoes with 9-inch spikes with horseshoes at the bottom, and each actor was the front of a horse with its head, rearing, and this big head like that, and Playboy loved the idea of that pictorial, but the producers of Equus didn't.
And what were the bunnies going to have on, like their traditional Playboy outfit with the ears and the
right
at the start at least
the tail? Jeez,
but I did get to meet a couple of people from Playboy and got invited to this. The whole cast got invited to this party. And, it was a swank place, of course. They had a bar that had these portholes where you could look through into the indoor swimming pool.
Ooh.
And some of our cast were in the water making out and getting it on. And, we were a lot more radical than anybody that was on the Playboy staff.
Oh, 1976.
Huh?
1976. I mean, yeah.
76. It was, so, the feeling I had at the mansion was really very kind of not wild. It was the opposite. It was very sedate. It was very,
relaxed.
It was relaxed, and there were beautiful women around. But
did you have any conversations with them?
Yes.
How'd that go?
Remember a girl named Michelle? I think she was Miss April.
Oh my God! I'll look this up later. Okay, keep going.
From some year, I can't recall. But it was a good time. It wasn't a wild time. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. It was a good time, though.
Orgies. People think of the Playboy Mansion as being full of,
people want to have that idea.
No, it wasn't the mansion. It was the pool that was full of people.
It was the pool. Yeah.
Wow. So this was the Chicago Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jeez, Ed, the life this man's led here. Wonderful. So what are you feeling about the no nude? Were you a fan of the magazine at all? When you were a kid, when you were a kid, did you try to sneak them? And
when I was a kid, I had a stack of them.
Oh, wonderful! Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Where'd you get them from? Kids traded them, and
it's a good question. Did I buy them? I mean, they were probably only $1.25.
Yeah. Right.
I probably bought them, and
they would they would sell them to a kid or a younger person,
or I don't know. I
doesn't want to give a source out here, even all this time later. He doesn't want to reveal.
Jackie's got connections. He's gonna get me.
Yeah. But yeah, I have some history with it too. I mean, the first naked ladies I saw were early '90s in a magazine somebody had on the bus or something, or steal from their dad or something. Because but now it's not so. I don't know. It's so easy to find nudity. The kids even is it even a big deal to see like nudity?
It's not a big deal anymore.
They're like, oh my God.
Yeah, I got to remember, I was in a parochial school. I didn't even have girls in my class.
Oh, geez, yeah.
I was suppressed.
Yeah.
So Playboy was a big outlet for me.
Yeah, it definitely served a purpose. Growing up, It's a rite of passage, I think. It's where you learned about life there.
Yeah, let's call it that. Let's call it
that. Yeah. But you know,
passages in an evening. No, never mind.
So I mean, you know, it's hard for magazines in general now to even when I read about, like, oh yeah, Playboy magazine, that's still going. Like, wow.
We can't compete with the internet's quantity of naked women. We need to take another route. I mean, that's what they're doing now, I guess.
Yeah. Well, they could always like do no nudity for maybe a couple of years, and then we're back with the nudes and make a big deal out of it. You know, it's like Kiss taking off the makeup and then they put it back on. It becomes cool again. You know. I'm
just picturing them going, like the headline is, we read it for the articles, and it's the women naked with the words from the articles painted on them.
Oh.
Nice. Well, Playboy's going to have to pony up and get celebrities to appear naked.
Well, there's no more nudity, so we'll get
what are they going to do? Get celebrities to appear clothed? You can see that on TV.
John, would you appear nude?
See that at a concert.
OJ, would
How much
you appear
paying
nude?
me, and what are you actually showing?
Well, okay, what would you want, like, compensation-wise? What are you comfortable in showing? Tell us. Let's negotiate the contract here.
I mean, waist up is no problem, easy. But no, but other people would have to be paid to see it.
If I was like, someone was like 10 grand, full frontal.
Well, then they came out with Playgirl, and they had Burt Reynolds on the cover.
Yeah, there you go. That's what OJ's going to do. We want OJ in.
Joe Namath was on the cover one month.
10,000's a lot of money, but it's not a stupid lot of money.
Well, think about it, okay? We got a lot of questions coming out of today's show that have to be pondered. Life on Mars.
Dude, are you signing me up for stuff when I'm not...
What? Am I signing you up for stuff?
Jesus.
Oh, my God. This guy. John, why don't you tell us about your cider mill you got going on in your home?
All right.
Explain this whole thing. I don't even know myself what's going on. I see you have a jug in your house that you have to, like, put cloths on and stuff. What's going on?
Okay, so I went to a wedding last year that people held at their house, and they were very, very frugal about it. So they didn't even buy any alcohol. The best man and the groom brewed 10 different types of things. 8 beers, 1 thing of sparkling mead, and a hard apple cider. And the hard apple cider was the most delicious thing I had tasted that entire day, and it was really good. I asked where they got the recipe, and naturally the answer was the internet. So the guy sent me the link, and I decided this year, okay, I'm going to give it a shot. I've made beer before. Let's try making cider. So I bought all the materials. I bought 6 or 7 gallons of apple juice, a lot of sugar, some yeast, some sanitizer, cleaned out this glass thing, put it in my spare bathroom, and it was too warm. So I poured everything in there, set it up, and it's supposed to be between like around 65 degrees. And despite it being about 65 degrees outside, my house is perennially 70 degrees. So I had to keep it out of the sunlight. And then since it was too hot, I had to cover it in a wet towel and apply water to it twice daily to keep the cider below 70 degrees so it wouldn't taste bad.
How did you find out how to do all this?
I had a how to brew. I had a beer brewing kit that I used, and that gave you basic instructions on how to brew stuff.
Is this basically like making moonshine that you're doing here?
No, making moonshine could kill you if you drink it. But
so you're making alcohol though, so aren't you kind of doing the similar process?
You have to distill stuff to make like liquor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how's it going now with this whole thing?
It's right now. It's ostensibly done. Phase 1 was mix apple juice and sugar and yeast in a container and leave it there for a week.
And this has been like months you've been working on this.
About a month.
Okay.
Phase 2 was transfer it to another container to clear out some of the yeast. And phase 3 was bottle it. Now, the thing is, when you bottle it, you add, I like sparkling. I like bubbles. So you add extra sugar. Instead of adding sugar, I added caramel and frozen apple juice concentrate and vanilla beans. And what happens is the yeast is like, sweet, more food, awesome. And it starts, because when the yeast turns the sugars into alcohol, it bubbles, it makes carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
Sounds like a bomb is to be.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Exactly. No, that's the fear. It says after you bottle it, you have 3 to 5 days to pasteurize the bottles or they will explode.
It's like an episode of Boardwalk Empire here.
Yeah, so I made it, and then I made it, and I got it bottled 2 days before I was going to a friend's place in Rhode Island. So I'm like, well, now what? So what I did was I filled up 2 empty Sprite bottles, 12 ounces, with the cider, and sealed it as tightly as I could, left the rest at home in a plastic container, and took 2 bottles with me and the Sprite bottle. So day 1, you squeeze the Sprite bottle, and it's real easy to squeeze. Like,
oh, are you drinking it right now?
No, it's water. I was just I needed something to squeeze. Like, you squeeze a Sprite bottle, there's no pressure. It's real easy to squeeze. Day 2, it's generated gas. Day 3, I'm in Rhode Island now, and it's a little bit tighter. Day 4, I'm trying to squeeze the Sprite bottle, and it won't squeeze. I'm like, oh gosh, I need to get home right now.
About to explode.
Yeah. And thankfully, I got home. Nothing exploded. The bottle was perfectly carbonated when the Sprite bottle was perfect when I drank it that night after I finished this. But I had to put each bottle, 7 bottles at a time, in a big, 5-gallon vat of boiling water for 10 minutes. And I don't know if you ever tried to take a glass bottle out of boiling water wearing cloth oven mitts. Funny thing about oven mitts, they don't work when they're wet.
Yeah, it's cloth.
Yeah, so I picked up one of the bottles and dropped it, and it landed in the steel bin and started hissing. Like gas was escaping. I was freaking out. I'm like, oh gosh, this is going to die. This is going to explode. This is it. And then it just kind of sat there. I'm like, oh, okay.
Do you have any experience with this at brewing or
no
drinking maybe?
No, I've never lived where there was a basement or attic in which to do a project quite like this.
Yeah.
I want to point out it's completely legal where I live. Dang it.
I would be afraid if I was your neighbor, John.
Well, if I did, I might go Breaking Bad. I don't know.
Like, they're not going to explode. It's like, beer's not going to explode. Cider might explode. But beer's not going to explode because you can measure the sugar. And here's the freaky thing. I can measure how much sugar was in it between weeks 1 and before I bottled it. Between that time, it went down by, I don't remember what the percentage was, but it went down, say, the number I started at was at 1.05, and when I was done, that number was down at 1.02. So that's how far it went in about 2 weeks.
You have a name for your brewery now?
Not yet, but after 5 days, it went down from 1.04 because I had increased it to 1.03 or something crazy like that. It had generated another 1% alcohol in the container in 5 days. When it was supposed to be done. So if I hadn't pasteurized, that bottle would have exploded in my face.
All right,
but I do
man.
need a cool name. I haven't come up with one
All
yet.
right. You gotta make a label and everything?
Yeah, one of my friends works for a print shop, so I might do that.
Well, it's cool, man. It's a nice project you're doing there.
It's fun.
Oh, geez, always keep 'em busy
I'm
with
set for
things.
Thanksgiving and Christmas. Just going to bring a couple bottles and be like, hey guys, no need for wine. I've got sparkling.
It's cider, though? So is there apples in there?
Yeah, it's...
Where'd you get the apples from?
No, it's just apple juice from the grocery store.
Oh, you don't use fresh apple.
You know what, dude?
No, I'm just asking. I'm not saying it's
No.
wrong.
What's funny is I called, we
mad.
live near so many wonderful orchards in upstate New York, right?
I know, yeah. I just went to one.
I called them and I'm like, do you have apple juice? Yeah, we have apple juice. I'm like, is it pasteurized apple juice or regular? Oh, it's apple cider. I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
they only have apple
slightly
cider.
different than what I asked you. I'm supposed to have apple juice. And then I just ended up going to the grocery store and buying bottles for like $3
I
each.
just went to the orchard the other day. I got some stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
Ed, do you ever go to the orchards when you lived down this way? Get the apples, get the apple picking, cider, pies.
Well, I can't remember. I'm sure I
You like to
did.
eat these things.
I'm sure I did go, browse some orchards, orange orchards. I remember in Florida when my
Okay,
folks
it's not
tried
around here, no. No oranges.
grapefruits, but apples and apple orchards.
We got pumpkins, apples.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you pick them right. You can pick them. It's cool.
So maybe we could,
any
go
plans
into-
for Thanksgiving coming up, Ed? What's going on?
I'm going to spend it with my daughter.
Awesome.
And a couple of friends, and we're not sure whether one of us is going to cook or we're going to go out. We'll figure it out, but I'm sure it'll be a good time.
Are you a fan of the holiday?
Thanksgiving, when the whole family was on the East Coast and Grandma hosted downstairs every year, that's, and Thanksgiving hasn't been the same since those days.
Yeah. It's tough as you get older, people that used to be there are now passed on, and you remember. But it's a time of remembrance of people and things and family, and I think it's a nice day. I actually really like it.
I like it too. Thanksgiving was it's the first holiday when you're in school. It's your first school break holiday.
Yeah.
I always wanted to bring a girlfriend home from college.
Okay, sure.
Say, I want to bring her home, or I'm not going to come home. Say, all right, bring her home. So, and they didn't know that Italians celebrate just about every holiday with lasagna first.
Yeah.
Then some fish, then some beef and turkey, and we eat all day long. We sit down at the table at like 11 or noon. We don't push ourselves away until like 8 or 9 in the evening.
Yeah.
My grandmother's in her 80s, and she fights the turkey to this day. She doesn't want to even do it.
She doesn't even want to do the turkey.
We'll get a little turkey thing, but she doesn't really get it. Why turkey? It's, I don't know. She doesn't,
What's fun is that when there's a guest and they see the lasagna come out and they think, oh, well, they're Italian, they have this instead. So they have 2 or 3 helpings of lasagna. Yeah. Then they see all the rest of the food come out and they freak, like,
we ain't done. We ain't done.
We ain't done with you.
No, my family's like that. I think Thanksgiving we do it a little differently. Like we'll have like antipasto first or antipasti, like cheese, olives, vegetables, covered in olive oil, maybe some vinegar, whatever. But and then next we'll have, I think we have the soup first, which
what type of soup?
Usually a squash soup with some maple syrup.
Oh, that's very Thanksgiving like.
Yeah. And then there's a salad. There's some sort of seafood before the soup, I think.
Who does the cooking?
What?
Who cooks? Do you do
my uncle.
All the women. No,
your uncle.
My uncle and my mom and my aunt, but mostly my uncle. My uncle loves cooking.
That's awesome.
I mean, my grandma would cook, my aunt would cook, my mom would cook. My grandma and my mom would do the soup. My grandma would do any and all pasta. My mom would also make broccoli pie. And then my aunt would make something. My uncle would make like beef Wellington or a turkey. And then dessert would just be like, somehow by the end of the night, like the number of people in the house grows. Like once, quote unquote, once dinner's getting close to being done, people just start showing up.
People in the house start growing too. The food.
Oh yeah. No, they'd bring desserts from other places.
Well, I think we're going to OJ's family's place this time, Ed. This sounds pretty legit here.
Not this year.
Jeez.
Awesome.
Not this year, John. What's going on?
Oh, I'm probably just going to my parents' house. Then it's gonna be the 3 of us.
Yeah.
But
that's how it goes.
No effort. It's going to be nice and easy.
Yeah, it's fun, man. It's a good time.
I guess those 2 bottles of cider, one's for me and one my parents can split. Ha, ha, ha. But it should be good.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
How about you, John? What are you going to do?
I am going to my grandparents' house.
Uh-huh.
A lot of the rest of the family kind of moved away, and my 2 sisters moved out west.
So over the river and through the woods.
Not many people left, man. So I go to my grandparents are in their 80s, like the mid 80s, and it's always a wacky time, man. You never know what's really going to go down.
Nice.
But I love them a lot, and I'm looking forward to it. So
cool.
Yeah. And I hope you guys have a good one too. So looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to next week's show.
So you will have a show the day before Thanksgiving.
Yes, next week we'll be here. We'll be doing our annual Black Friday episode. John, you looking forward to the sales? Have you looked through any ads yet, or are you just going to go in cold, see what we got?
Yeah, we'll have to see. It's going to be crazy. Though I heard that I think 60% of the sales are the same as last year.
It seems to be like that. We're actually doing an experiment here because we've done this 4 times already in the past. This will be the 5th time. So,
just play last year's and see if anyone notices.
There's some sort of that'd be messed up. There's some sort of experiment we're doing here. I don't know what it is, but we're tracking this each year. But I'm really looking forward to that, man. I hope you guys come and take a look at it. Thank you to you gentlemen for coming on here tonight.
Well, I did have a question for Ed.
Sure, go ahead, yeah.
Ed, have you ever seen the play Sweeney Todd? Like, not the movie version, the original play?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I finally saw that last week or the week before. I was curious what you thought about the play.
Oh, well, I was enamored. Well, I had a friend in the play.
Nice.
Yeah, he was Ken Jennings, and he was singing to Angela Lansbury.
Wow.
Singing "No One's Gonna Harm You, Not While I'm Around." You know, that's from that play. And John, who was Sweeney Todd? Was the guy from Northern Exposure?
Oh, really?
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, I saw that production a long time ago. That must have been 76 because I did Oliver Twist with Ken the year before, and he became that character. And I thought it was a wonderful play, wonderful music.
Okay, yeah. So for those of you who haven't seen it or heard of the movie, it's about a man who was convicted of a crime he didn't commit and sentenced to go away to Australia he was shipped away from London or England at least. This is back like the 1800s or something like that. And he comes back. He was a barber, and he decides he's going to get revenge on the people who sent him away. And it just gets really dark, really fast. And I had only seen the first half of the play. I finally saw the end of it, and no one had spoiled it for me the entire time because there's some really cool stuff in there. Amazing show, really twisted though. They had somebody
Fleet Street.
Yeah, I love also sometimes they mess with you in the songs too. Like they'll say the Dame and Barbara Fleet and like kind of look around and they pause during this version of the production. Street. Like they'd make you wait for it. It was pretty cool. But there was one character who was really freaky because some of the stuff that I'm guessing people did while reading Playboy, his character kind of did on stage a little bit. Like he had special pants.
What does that mean? Explain more.
He had special pants so he could stick his hand down.
Eating a bagel.
I need more detail. What do you mean? You act it out for us here? I don't know.
But the really grody thing is he does that outside. He does that and then opens a door and starts stroking someone's hair when he gets into the room. I don't know if they did that in the other versions of the play because that was kind of messed up. But I'm just watching it going,
I don't remember that detail.
Yeah, well, you don't see anything, but he's got these special pants. That must have been a directorial choice. But aside from that, there's lots of puns. It's really funny, and it's really dark. I recommend it.
All right. Was like 200 years old, that play?
I don't know.
Based.
No, it's way out there, man.
Yeah.
It's really that old?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's classic, man.
People are sick. I love it.
30-odd years old.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. So it's going to wrap us up here, man.
Yeah.
Of course, you can find Ed, all the various places you could find Ed, on Twitter at @Ed_Trotta, Facebook fan club page. He's got a personal Facebook page. We're all over the social media, Ed. What's going on here? We're all connected.
I still don't know how to work Twitter. I still don't.
I see you use it, though. What do you mean? You're doing fine. What do you mean?
Okay, I use it.
What's the problem? What's going wrong here?
Yeah, the people who have 32,000 followers and,
they paid for those. Don't worry about it.
37K, listeners. I've got a few hundred,
Yeah, same here. It's perfectly
Nothing to
fine.
scoff at.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. It's not the quantity that matters. Come on. It's the quality. You know that from going to the Playboy Mansion.
I spend a little too much time on Facebook. And I spend so much time replying that's why I don't post as much as I...
I understand that.
You want to take your time.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to use the Twitter speak where you like shortcuts to words.
I hate that.
CUZ or just see you later.
I will spend...
CUL8.
No, I will spend 30 minutes rewriting a tweet to get it down to the right number of characters and still have it be valid English.
30 minutes.
Dude, I just sit there and I'm like, no, this has to be right.
All right, so there you go. That's a show, my friends. We'll be back next week. Black Friday episode. Here, why don't we put this picture up to take us out here? I think it's appropriate.
Yeah.
This is a great photo. I love this.
That's beautiful.
Ed, any final message to the wonderful people out there?
Oh, keep the faith, baby, and keep the peace. Keep the peace. Don't get rattled. Keep feeling love.
I like it. OJ, say goodbye to the beautiful people out there.
Everybody, what can I say? Stay calm. Don't overreact to anything. Think about it really hard before you make a decision in any case. And be nice to your fellow man. I mean, what else is there?
Nothing else.
This has been a production of StayBallsy.com, the best in free and optional entertainment. Have a pleasant evening, and remember, stay ballsy. Don't take any shit from anyone.